Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is I'm recording this March 31st. It's the end of the quarter. So we got a lot of action that kind of happened in that. And then I also just finished a market update webinar. We did most of it for about an hour, then I answered some questions for a half hour after that. We're going to be posting a link for that right here on profitpilot.com. So look for that in the next day or two if you guys are interested in checking out. It's also on YouTube. So, or probably Facebook also. So just look up Simpler Trading, go look to YouTube, and you should be able to see that coming up. So let's get over here, and I wanted to get into some of the commodities because that's some of the stuff that I was talking about recently. But what I want to be showing you here is look at this action that we had today, right? There's some pretty good stuff happening in here. So, and I think part of what we've been expecting is that this rally has been such a big rally. It's been going for 11 days that at some point it's just going to become unsustainable. And I think that that is starting to be what we saw today. Now, also part of it is end of quarter rebalancing, but also end of quarter window dressing. And what I mean by that is, the funds, hedge funds, all that kind of stuff, when they see an opportunity like this, when the market goes up, it's like, great, we're going to just hold price up there because we want our numbers to look good. We want to be able to get our bonuses. We just want things to look up because at the end of the quarter, we want it to look better than it was. So that shows like we did really well and we did better performance wise. And so that's why we saw it do that and basically hang on until the very end of the last day of the quarter. So that's kind of what we saw in through there. But from a technical standpoint, we could see that price came all the way up here to the third ATR, which is what I was talking about in the quick little preview video yesterday. And then we could also see that price had not touched the hourly 50 for the entire time. It was so overbought. It was insane. And then on the 15-minute, what we can look at here is that we had price continue to push up, but notice that the Moxie indicator was much lower. This was a very weak move up like that, very weak. So it was just a matter of time until this thing wanted to roll over, and you can see the Moxie indicator now went really red yesterday and into today, which is Thursday. So at this point, I would be, maybe there's still some chop. I don't know how quickly this is going to go down. It sure did that in a hurry today, so we'll have to see where it goes from there. But yeah, I have a feeling this is going to work its way back down to at least the daily 50. So that's kind of the idea of what I think is going to be happening for the S&P, and then for the Nasdaq. Right in through here, I'm looking at this as also running into the third ATR, also running into the daily 200. And I have a feeling it's going to head back down to the daily 50. Now, the real question is, when the market pulls back and it pulls back into the 50 or something like that, will it keep going? Will it bounce a little bit and then roll over? Or is this actually going to be a pullback into support and we go higher? I don't have a super firm grip on either idea. I could see the potential for it pulling back into that support and then going higher. But then ultimately, if we do go higher after this pullback, that might actually set us up for yet a larger negative divergence, head and shoulders type thing, double top, and then we see the market actually start to roll over in earnest and actually make new lows. Don't know yet. Still too far off to say, but I'm trying to be prepared for anything because that is the kind of market that we have right now. But if we look at the 15-minute, we started to see this happen today because price got underneath the 15-minute 50 and started to get rejected by that. So pretty clear stuff that we've seen over the last couple days. We look at the UVXY, nice big move up to the upside, and really it was all about the 15-minute time frame. We could see price down, Moxie indicator up, and not only that, look how tight the Moxie indicator was today. And what was super nice about this, I actually messaged my subscribers about this. Let's see if I get, there we go. I messaged my subscribers about this and I said, yeah, I would love to see the Moxie indicator, or I'd love to see price hold the 15-minute 50 today. And that's exactly what it did. We're going to get a nice shot up like that. So worked out really well. Very nice. All right, then let me kind of show you some of the stuff that I talked about in my presentation and my market update today. One of them, just to start off, was don't catch a falling knife, and things can go lower than you imagine. Let me go over here to PayPal. Just a broad-based look. Things can always go lower. Just because they're oversold doesn't mean they can't get more oversold. Just kind of the same way, like price can keep going higher than you think, price can go lower than you think. I mean, look at the round trip of PayPal, right? The other thing is, when you see things where they start to get oversold, sure, maybe you want to get out of your shorts and pocket the change and that just in case it does want to move back up. But when something is really rough, it might take a little bit of a breather, move into resistance, and then continue on down like that. So we might be seeing the same situation here. It's obviously getting oversold. It's coming into some longer term support areas. But at that point, maybe they're going to bounce up. Maybe there will be some moves, but this is definitely nowhere near resuming an uptrend. And the possibility that this could actually just become some sort of a zombie stock for a while, that's real too. This thing is so beat up. I don't know how many people are really going to want to come back into it and push it back up. So just kind of be careful about this. And honestly, I'm not sure I would be tackling it anytime soon, even for those bounces. All right, so some of the things that I wanted to show were more of the commodities and some of the bigger picture stuff. So let's look at gold. Now, I don't have a squeeze on here, but the gold on the monthly time frame is in a monthly squeeze. So this is looking pretty good. The gold is looking very interesting. I'm trying to decide where exactly I do want to get in on it. I'm not in on it yet. And one thing to show you in through here, that this last move, of course, is fears with Russia, Ukraine, and all that kind of stuff. Super overbought. Here's part of what you can see. You should just be aware that there is a double top like that. When you see something like that, it's kind of a natural area to sell some stuff. You can even see that price ran right into the monthly third ATR. It's just overbought. And then here, price got outside of the third ATR. It's just overbought. So now price came down. It's kind of found a level that it seems to like. Let me show you what that looks like on the daily chart. There you go. You can see on the daily chart that price has basically started to find an area where it can start flagging, and it has come into the daily 50. Now, this looks pretty darn close to an area that I would like to start picking up some GLD for longer term. I mean, it doesn't move. It usually doesn't move too fast. So this is going to be a little bit of a slower burn. But one thing I do see that is interesting is double bottom and positive divergence on the hourly chart. Now, the thing I'm hesitant about is that the Moxie indicator is still fairly far below zero, which kind of tells me that not necessarily that it's bearish. I wouldn't be shorting this at all, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time until it's really ready to go. And that's generally what the Moxie indicator being that far below zero, being still negative energy, negative momentum, tells me it's just kind of not quite ready. We can kind of see that with, say, USO. We kind of zoom, there we go. We'll zoom out on that one. We'll kind of zoom out on that one. And you can see that USO, again, crazy Russia-Ukraine stuff, it got really, really overbought. Just so far out of these things, it was ridiculous. And then they're going to come back down and try and find kind of homeostasis. Where can it find some area where it's just going to start resting? You can see it kind of got close to the daily 50 like that, but basically now we've got this wedge going on, and it's just trying to figure out where it wants to start running like that until probably it's going to go higher. I imagine it's going to go higher, but it needs to cool off. It needs to start coming back inside of those extreme areas, and then we're just going to have to wait and figure out, okay, when is this thing ready to start moving up again? Moxie indicator, it's telling me it's not going to be for a while. I did not trust this last move up because the Moxie indicator didn't have a setup. You can see that price went down, price went up, the Moxie indicator went down, the Moxie indicator went up. There was no setup. And so we just have to kind of keep waiting. It just wasn't ready to go. And I think gold is right now kind of the same situation. Just give it a little bit more time to settle out, get itself situated, and then it'll start the next trend eventually. All right, then UNG. UNG, if we do look at the higher time frames, this one is looking more interesting. And part of the reason why I'm saying it looks interesting is because it is at a fresh area. We look at the weekly time frame here. It recently pulled back into the weekly 50, and it just broke out from the weekly 200. I'm looking at that and saying, that looks like a pretty fresh trade. That's a fresh trend. It just broke out from resistance. It looks like it's still basically in the bottom of its a longer term pattern. Yeah, so I would be looking at UNG, which is natural gas, and I think it's going to be bullish on the next new line to go bullish. So yeah, UNG. Now let's have a little bit of fun. Moo, kind of look at some of these commodities. This is cattle, and I would just want to show you that it's inflation that we're seeing, supply chain stuff. I mean, it's some crazy stuff out there. But look how well these patterns are. Here's Moo, cattle. Look how well price flagged into the monthly support. Look how well it flagged into the weekly support. Moxie indicator still above 0. The 8 is still above the 21. This is bullish. I mean, get that cattle out of there and start putting some bulls in there. We've got some, we're looking pretty good. Just trying to get stuck with that horn. Now, maybe I don't want to be buying there. Let's see if it can kind of pull back or flag a little bit. But this looks like it's on a pretty new trend to the upside. How about XME? Another situation. See the similarity? How's this? Price flagged right into the monthly support, that moving average. And you can see weekly flagged right into this support. Moxie indicator still above 0. 8 still above the 21. Boom. Started moving up. Now, again, I'm not sure I'd want to be buying right at this point, but it's something I would keep an eye on if this is interesting to you. If there are names that are in this, if there are miners or builders or stocks that are in this industry, I'd look for a little bit of a pullback and then see if there's going to be something there to the long side. Wheat. And we know, let me bring it up on the other thing here. Wheat. We know that wheat was also very crazy. These things, vertical moves like this just don't sustain forever. They go up like that. They can be crazy, but at some point they are going to come back down and they're going to either find homeostasis to where they're comfortable or they're going to just blow their load and keep moving down. The one thing, if I incorporate the Moxie indicator here, you can see that the last time that we had a little bit of a move up, not quite ready. It's the same basic situation about USO and GLD. I could see that these things were still so overbought that they needed to chill out more. And this is what I call an inverse trampoline move. Price should not be over the 50 if the Moxie indicator is below 0. And that's telling me it's not ready to go long yet. Now, I wouldn't be shorting it because clearly this thing's in an uptrend. But it says, don't go long here. And if you didn't have the Moxie indicator, you might have thought that this would be a good long because right there, it looked like price got over the moving average and then tested the moving average and it looked like it wanted to go up there, but in fact it didn't. So the Moxie indicator does a really good job of keeping you out of some trades to keep you safe from stepping on a rake and getting hurt like that. Let's see. Corn. Talk about this one. You can see, I think it's probably going to need to chill out a little bit more too. And right there, you can see another inverse trampoline move. Price over the 50, but the Moxie indicator below 0. Yes, I see the price is up, but I think it's going to be chilling out for a little bit. Let's see if there's a pullback and where that's going to go. Because yes, price is higher, but notice the Moxie indicator is lower. I'm not totally sold on this quite yet. And then how about copper? CPER. Let's show you this on the higher time frames. Just like Moo and just like XME, notice price flagging into these moving averages and flagging right into these moving averages. The Moxie indicator still above 0. Looks to me like copper probably going to start moving up. Now we'll have to see how far it wants to go. It's kind of a choppy stock. It's up to you if you want to play it, but from a chart standpoint, kind of looks like it wants to go up. And then we'll talk about the last two, CANE. This is going to be sugar. And you can see sugar pulled back into the moving average and pulled back into the moving average. The Moxie indicator still above 0, and now it bounced and looked like it goes up. So this too looks like it could continue to the high side. How about BAL? This is like hay bale, but it's cotton. So cotton bale. In through here, flagged a little bit, flagged right into moving average support, and then it just took off. Now this one, it's totally gone. There's nothing much I can do about this, but what I wanted to show you is look how nicely these things actually flagged sideways right into support and then started to take off. So if you guys see some commodities that you're interested in playing, it does look like the commodity space is, there's still some opportunity. So hopefully that helped you guys out. Remember, if you're interested in checking out the market update video webinar that I just did, we'll be posting some links on profitpilot.com. but you can also see them on YouTube when they get posted. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next week.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.